that cigarette and I'll strap shoes on my feet. Got to find a reason things went wrong. Got to find a reason why my money's all gone. I got a Dalmatian, I could still get high. I can play the guitar like a motherfucking riot. Well, life is so rough, the one you got, 'cause you might get run over or you might get shot. Never start no static, I just get it off my chest. Never had to battle with no bulletproof vest. Take a small example, take a minute.
Good morning, Chicago. It is cold as hell outside again. Cold as a mother, as I like to say. It is March 2nd. But, you know, enough with the hoopla. This is the small show, the new show. Enough with the hoopla. Let's get to the hoops. Congratulations, Allen Iverson. Well-deserved, retiring the number with the Philadelphia 76ers. Number 3 will never be worn again. Dr. J was there. I believe Maurice Cheeks, Chocolate Thunder. It was a great sight to see. I wish I could have been there. I'm very happy to see him start to get recognition because, you know, he has that thug appeal, you know, with everything with the media breaking out things. It's stupid, but AI was one of the greatest basketball players to play, period. He is a hybrid. He was a point guard because of height restrictions. He was also a shooting guard. So he transcended the game just because he would break everybody's ankles. He was one of the best. I molded my game, my limited white, you know, 5'10" Italian type game to that, 5'9" maybe. But, you know, he is the epitome of what you would want in a basketball player because regardless of practice efforts, he would just dominate an opponent, and he would get in your mind, he would get in your head, he would talk it, and then he would just drain shots all over you. I remember him crossing over Tyronn Lue in the finals against the Los Angeles Lakers and breaking his ankle, stepping over him after he hit the shot, and won that game too. That was the only game they won in that series. But AI definitely one of the greatest. I actually wrote an article with him and T-Mac going into the intricacies of who was better. Actually, AI has statistically more of an impact. He had more of an impact if we in for a longer time than what T-Mac did. No knock to Tracy McGrady. He was a great player in his own right. Just unfortunately, he was limited by injuries for a while there. But it gives you food for thought to think what could have been with those guys, especially with AI. He put himself out very much, getting injured a lot, and you know. Hopefully, with the Chicago Bulls, you don't get the Derrick Rose effect or Allen Iverson effect on him as Dwayne Wade has had. Just little guys going to the hole and taking a lot of hits to the lower body, shoulder, stuff like that takes a toll. So you have to play very smart up there to prolong your career in that aspect. With that, there is some news, comical, coming out of Detroit again, which isn't hard to believe. Isaiah Thomas is in the mix for taking over for Joe Dumars. Wow. If this happens, I don't know what Detroit is going to do next. I mean, I think Stephon Marbury is around for your scouting and maybe player personnel. You could give Isaiah the presidential role and then maybe give Stephon that, or you know, I think Eddie Curry's looking for a job too. I know those guys are pretty tight now. No, not to Isaiah. I love Isaiah. It's just Detroit needs a change in a whole philosophy going forward to get that bad boy image back, which hasn't been back since '05, you know, when they had that championship team with that core. Once Chauncey Billups was traded, that core was gone, and it was dismantled. It never was the same. They have Rasheed Wallace there. I don't know why they didn't put him in in some situation as far as I'd give him the head coaching position. He's great with the players and can go forward from there. You have some good young pieces, but it just doesn't make sense to me to have Isaiah even in the conversation of that. So that's probably just hoopla. With that being said, there's only so many teams that can really win a championship in the NBA, as a lot of basketball players and fans and people who follow the game know. The Los Angeles Clippers are becoming a real threat. Picking up Danny Granger gives them a lot of options. Now, Blake Griffin is playing the most best, greatest, best basketball of his life, and it's only getting better day by day. With Chris Paul as a facilitator, if the guys around them can hit their shots, they are going to be very dangerous. I don't see anybody in the West really taking them down. OKC has troubles. They didn't get a point guard at the break. They did get a little bit of help with Caron Butler, but he's aging. He's injury prone. He's not the same player he was. Caron is a great player, and if he's healthy, he's going to help them out a lot. But Kendrick Perkins is a cancer there, and that's going to hurt them in the long run. With that being said, San Antonio, great team. If they're healthy, they're going to be in the mix, of course. But sometimes you're not healthy, and now you got Tony Parker on the shelf a little bit. You have maybe a hangover from the finals of last year with that Game 6 and that .7 whatever seconds where Ray Allen got that up, that three, and just dismantled that championship run when it should have been their championship. The West is completely open, and let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, the way they can break you down and the way DeAndre Jordan is playing defense, combined with Blake Griffin, they are going to be a threat for the ring. They can beat Miami, I'm telling you, and they can beat Indiana. We'll get into the conversation in future episodes about going into the playoffs and in these matchups. But, Miami is the team to beat. There's no clear indication of anything else. Anybody else who tells you Indiana's better is stupid. Rings talk, baby. Rings. I don't have any. But, that is very important in this aspect. And with that, the Clippers have Doc Rivers, and he is just molding that team perfectly through injury. It was most impressive with Chris Paul going down, the way they attacked teams and had such a good record with him out. It's just a war of attrition. That's the NBA, and they're doing that so well. But I didn't want to get all into the NBA today. We got to go into some college basketball because it's about to get into the tourney time. And I am just getting so excited because this is going to be one of the most exciting tournaments I believe I've seen in 10 years, maybe even longer. You have so much talent here, so many wild cards. You just had, I think, 8 teams that were highly ranked go down in the top 25 yesterday. So with that being said, it's open, and we knew that from the beginning. And it is interesting to see Syracuse go down to a team that plays man defense, because that indicates their biggest weakness, which has been noted before a little bit by me. They are soft. Their zone is great. Tyler Ennis is great. I like C.J. Fair. I think he'll be a great NBA player. Grant is a good long big. They have good pieces. Sometimes they can get offensively inept, but they make up for it defensively. But if you go and hit them in the mouth, which was happened to them last night and why they lost, and they've lost a few now, they're very beatable. So we'll see what happens here going into the tourney. But then you have Wichita State and Florida. Those are the two creams of the crop. And you have Florida, who has just a bevy of great players. Billy Donovan has that team playing the best ball they can be playing right now and at the right time. So they are going to be a threat, and Wichita obviously hasn't lost. You can say that they play in a bad division. You're still going, you're traveling. Nobody thought a team in that conference could be playing with this elite, and they can, and they will. they do fall into the same category of Syracuse, but why I think that they are higher is because they are more tougher. I think Syracuse, as I noted, is a little bit more soft. They got hit in the mouth with the man defense. They didn't fight back as much. They weren't able to. They tried to fight back. They're a resilient bunch, don't get me wrong. They're a great college basketball team. But Wichita State, their defensive mold, inside and out, can just baffle teams, just like Syracuse. But if they get pinched in the mouth, they're going to come right back. And offensively, I really like their flow. They run the pick and roll game so well, and with the rules nowadays, since the changes with the hand check and following and defending, it's going to be something to see. So Wichita State is my favorite. Them in Florida, of course, but I'm sure that's going to be everybody's here. Looking at some other teams here, we got Kansas, who's a very bunch of a dark horse. If they can play healthy and play well and get healthy, they can beat anybody. Joel Embiid or Akeem Olajuwon, that guy can play. Even though they lost yesterday, I saw him take up the court and go up for a layup like he was Joakim Noah. But this guy has the moves, and as you see, you can obviously look up his highlight reels. They're everywhere. He should be the top 2 pick in the draft. I don't see anything else. Duke is still a player in there, even though they are just so short. It's just they lose so much height in the inside, they're going to get out rebounded, and that's how they're going to lose. If they're not hitting their shots, they're going to lose. And it's unfortunate for Jabari, because he's a great player. He's my number 1 draft pick of the draft, without a doubt. It'd be nice to see him play with Jahlil Okafor coming out of Chicago as well next year, but Jabari's coming out of the draft, I'm pretty sure. But that's what Adam Silver has to see. He could eventually try to make it 2 years to get into the draft, which is just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, you like to see the college game flourish too, but at the same point, you want to see these kids get money. I think the 1 year is fine and let it go from there, but we'll see what happens. He won't let LeBron wear a black mask, so who knows what else is next. I thought David Stern was a particular gentleman. As far as other dark horses, I mean, there's quite a bit of other dark horses coming here. Looking in here with tournament time, we have Arizona, of course, I think is going to be very well suited. They're very highly ranked, of course. I mean, they're not really necessarily a dark horse, but Aaron Gordon, I think, is going to be very sufficient. They have a good inside game. The tournament is a lot of guard play, so that's going to be very important for them. Defensively, they're going to have to be tough as well. Other teams I like, St. Louis, to bring back a lot of seniors. A lot of people are liking them, even though they lost yesterday too. But going into the tournament, it's 1 loss and you're done. So, having a team of seniors and grizzled vets is going to go a long way, or hopefully it does. It could very well just backfire, and they could be out very soon. I'm telling you, this tournament is going to be off the Richter scale as far as crazy. With Michigan, that is the biggest dark horse, because they have outplayed themselves so well this year, and they've done so with going through a various amount of injuries, and losing almost half their team through the draft last year. Imagine if they had Tim Hardaway and everybody else back. Jeez, I mean, they'd definitely be number 1, and they'd probably be undefeated with that. But we're going to get into the college game a little bit later with Memphis. We got Michigan State, Oklahoma State. But look up Cerebral Sports on Google. Cerebral Sports Chicago. Look me up. I'm Jay Smalls. I was listening to the game last night, so I had to get back to throwback Scottie Pippen in the red here. So you guys, thanks for watching and supporting. There are going to be a lot more out here. And you guys take care. And I got a little tune here to ride us out here for the night. All right? You guys have a good one, and take care. All right.